I recently spoke to a guy who told me that his dating life feels like prison. Now, this guy was quite a successful entrepreneur. He has his online business. He was making multiple six figures a year. He told me that he felt extremely frustrated, lonely, and just felt like his dating life was a prison. Now, have you ever felt like this? Have you ever felt like your dating life was a prison? That you were trapped behind something, maybe behind the apps or behind your shyness and introversion, your trauma, and that you couldn't do anything about it. You saw all these girls, but you were trapped and you couldn't say hi to them. Have you ever felt like that? Let me tell you why that is and how to fix it. The biggest reason why that is you haven't learned to properly deal with fear. Everyone gets fear. Everyone gets scared when they're about to do something uncomfortable. And to improve in the game of dating, you have to do a lot of uncomfortable things. Biggest of them all is facing rejection. Now, if you don't learn how to face rejection, then you will not take action. And when you don't take action, you will feel trapped because you know that you need to go talk to that girl, but you don't because you're afraid. And it's that exact moment when you start feeling like your dating life is a prison, is because it's literally in front of you. The girl is in front of you, and yet you cannot go and talk to her. Well, that's why it's prison, because you don't know how to deal with fear. And it's not just talking to a woman. Some guys are in the conversations with women, but then they have to learn how to show intent, how to actually flirt with that girl, how to say, hey, you're pretty nice, we should go out sometime. And then guys have fear again. They have fear of rejection, that the girl's gonna say no. So they don't do it, and after that, obviously nothing happens, and then again, they feel like they're in prison because they had that chance to ask that girl out, and they didn't. You had a clear opportunity, you had a clear chance, clear action point, and you didn't execute on it. And the more you have circles of this, where instead of going past that fear, you get stuck and you retreat, the more your life is gonna feel like prison. It's just the inability to deal with fear. It's just the inability to go and take the uncomfortable action. That's all it is. But the consequences of this are massive, because your inability to deal with fear is gonna mess you up at every stage of the dating cycle. You see a girl you wanna go talk to, but you don't. You're talking to a girl and you wanna ask her out, but you don't. Maybe you're on a date and you wanna take her hand, but you don't because you're afraid. Things are going well and you can kiss her, but you don't because you're afraid. So this is why you're gonna feel trapped if you don't learn to manage fear. And it compounds, this feeling compounds. So when you go through life for 6 months, a year, 2 years, or 3 years like this guy, and you let the fear overcome your life, where you get to the point where you're having no dates, you're having no sex for multiple years, and you have to resort to going to Philippines to see escorts, well, that's how you're gonna end up feeling like in a prison. So the way to get out of this prison is to start by taking smallest actions and beating your fear. So if right now you're a guy with miserable dating life and you're seeing no women or little women and you feel like your life is a prison, first thing is you go out here in your city and just try to talk to 3 strangers. That's the first thing you gotta do, right? Because that's the first step of overcoming your social anxiety or fear of interacting with people. Then you level up. Now you gotta overcome level 2 fear. You need to go do the same thing and talk to 3 women. Once you get over that fear, then you have to learn how to give them compliments. And this is how you slowly train yourself to overcome fear and essentially carve out of the prison. Just like the guy from Shawshank Redemption, you gotta go little by little with your little hammer and day by day tackle your fear, tackle your prison, and that's how you get out of your fucking prison. But you're not gonna get out of your prison if you keep doing nothing, if you keep feeling sorry for yourself, if you keep using your introversion as an excuse and your trauma as an excuse. You gotta start now, and you gotta start with the smallest action. You gotta beat your fear. You gotta really fight with it. Fear is the thing that is keeping you in this prison, in this feeling of prison. If you can learn to defeat your fear, you will escape prison.